Hi there. I've been busy for a while. I have a little boat that I need to fix, and that's a lot of work. I'm waiting for some microcontroller chips to work with heliostats. They're coming from England and they take a long time. I'm not sure whether they use mules or snails or something that they glue them on top of and hope that they can swim across the channel. But Richard Branson does it faster with his kite than my envelopes in an airplane. Anyway, so that's what I'm waiting for. I'm following the news, and you've got the Barclays LIBOR rigging, and you've got all the other types of fraud that are going on in the banking system. I think it's still a distraction. It's still useless to wonder about it. It's useless to be Occupy Wall Street activist. The most useful thing that you can be is a promoter of renewable energies. Why? Because renewable energies will mean production capacity without pollution. And that's what you need. You need to have full societal production capacity, energy needs, requirements met with renewables. So wind turbines are fine, solar panels are fine, wave energy is fine, everything is fine, as long as it generates electricity or heat, because solar thermal is has a huge potential. And that's basically a rational, benign, understandable, fair way to actually do away with the whole banking system. Because what the banking system does mainly is distribute resources, which the primary one being oil, coal and gas. And without needing those, and people always need those because they burn them and then they need more, you won't need that banking system in the size that it exists today. It's both a curse and a blessing that internationally the game is played. And the banking game is played, and people are adhering to the attempt to make the banking system look sensible, which it is not. It is complete nonsense. Debt is nonsense. There's no debt. All these exchanges are completely. You cannot verify them. Maybe there's Sarbanes-Oxley or some type of verification process. It should be one central bank. So a world currency is basically the only way in which you can actually determine how much currency there is. And that's why people are promoting that, because it allows a lot of control over whatever that currency denotes, whatever is accepted. People are accepting to trade with for that currency. One bank. Because, and I've talked about this a while back, is try to imagine like 20 banks in Europe with their own banking, let's say, administrative system. How do they know how much money they have? They don't. They don't know whether money that comes in from another bank is real or not. Whether it's made up temporarily, fake. That's completely untraceable. And I think that's the reason why they are trading so much money with each other all the time. So that it remains in the picture. It's like planes that you keep in the air. That's the only real money. Once it's in a bank account for a while, let's say strictly, you cannot see beyond like the next fax machine as a bank. I had a friend who was tracing financial fraud thefts. Like if I'm in that, like a financial office and I do bank transfer with fax papers, which is normal way to do it, millions, and I do it and I move it through two banks, then it's untraceable. So if it's that myopic, the banking system, then how can you ever trust that the money is actually there, that it actually means something? And of course then you also have the shadow banking system, which is even bigger than the normal banking system, which I think is more or less an attempt to fix that problem, to fix the oversight problem which you have in the banking system, which you basically don't have. But interacting all the time is the way that these banks keep an eye on each other and try to keep their system somewhat coherent. But it's all completely irrelevant because it's all going to be completely obsolete once they are no longer in charge of or control of the carbon supply. And that control they will lose at a certain point for strategic reasons. So countries will not sell their carbon, just like Russia didn't sell their grain. And other countries also didn't agree to sell their resources because they need it for their own citizens. All that trouble, all that mayhem can be ignored and avoided if you simply promote renewables for yourself, for your street, for your local, for as much as possible. It will all come back to you in the terms of lower prices, a cleaner environment, availability of goods and services, and generally happiness and wealth, and less, let's say, a slowdown of climate change, and hope for the future, because otherwise, basically, well, of course, you can always hope. That's the whole point of hoping, is that you're not sure whether you should hope or not. It's like it gives you a life, and then you try to fill it. But I think that should be the revolution, primarily for anybody that is reluctant to be negative. Be positive. Be positive about solar, wind, and wave energy. And if you're that, and if you're, let's say, if you are positive about those energy sources, and you promote them, and you make sure that they come around in your neighborhood, then the banking system becomes less and less relevant, because you don't have to go to them to get credit to buy fossil fuels anymore. You can get the credit from the wind turbine owner, which might be you, and you can spend it at the pizzeria so they bake your pizza, or you can spend it on the baker so they bake your bread, or you can spend it or put it electricity in your own motorcycle and drive around, and the cost will be very, very low. It will be lower and lower and lower until people don't see the point of charging for electricity and energy anymore. That's my prediction. That's the robo economy that I'm promoting. Anyway, I've got told recently that I'm very repetitive, and that's true. I think I've kind of a one-track mind, not because I have a brilliant vision, because I first had the thoughts and then I developed the vision of robo-economics, but because it has to be. I think that it's good. It's in my own interest to promote it. I'm talking my own book. It's not gold and silver or money. It is a future. In general, I'd like to have one, and an environment in which I can have a peaceful pension. Maybe someday. Who knows? Maybe I get to 70 years old or something like that. That would be nice. But thanks for listening, and I'll try to be back on track with my heliostats and all that stuff soon, or try to mention other interesting stuff here.